Anime has seen a massive surge in popularity over the last few years, and honestly, it's really beautiful. But anytime lots of people come together, this strange phenomenon known as hive mind tends to occur. And we need look no further than My Anime List's top 100 anime of all time to see just what that collective hive mind is capable of. Now, before we begin, I just want to preface that any comments that I make that are negative about an anime or negative about someone's tastes in anime, it's all made in good fun. Everyone's allowed to enjoy what they want to enjoy. But all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video. We're using Tier Maker, of course. So the different tiers that we will have are S, A, B, C, D, F, want to watch, don't care to watch, and dropped or unknown series. Because there are a few that I've seen on here that I'm not quite sure what they are even, so I've definitely never watched them. We're gonna go ahead and start at the bottom because I have some controversial takes about some of the top anime from their list, so stick around to the end of the video to see some of that. And feel free to argue with me in the comments about any of these takes because let's be real here. I am a huge romance anime and manga fan, and I read a lot of like shoujo and slice of life and stuff like that. Not the biggest shonen fan, so we'll see how some of them place. I mean, there are a couple of them I like, but yeah. So looks like the first one that we have down here is quintessential quintuplets. So I remember how fucking hype this series was, and I started watching it. Like, I've watched a few episodes of it, but I've not really picked it up in like a year or two. I mean, it's definitely cute, and I have a feeling I'll end up watching it at some point, so I think I'm going to put it in the want to watch for now. But it's not something that is like close on my list, I don't think. So let's put that there for now. So up next, we have a series that I have watched, and actually, it's probably one of the first anime that I watched when I was starting to really get into anime, and that's Ciao, lovelies. So I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this because a lot of my enjoyment of it definitely comes from nostalgia, but when I went back and rewatched it recently, it definitely shows its age a bit. Well, if I remember right, it came out in the early 2010s, and a lot of anime in that time frame doesn't really seem to age that well. But honestly, if you're in the mood for a good like drama romance story, Kaicho wa Maid-sama is definitely, you could go with worse. So I think I'm gonna put that in a B for now. I might end up moving that up to an A though. I'm honestly not sure. I think that might be Koe no Katachi, but I'm not 100% sure. If it is, I haven't watched it yet, but it is on my list of things to watch. This next one, I have no idea what it is. I can't even tell, so that's going in the unknown series for now. Up next is a bit of a controversial anime, that's definitely for sure. I will say I have watched all of High School DD. The first few seasons I think are better than the most recent season, that's for sure. But it's very over the top, very raunchy. But if that's what you're in the mood to watch, it's probably one of the best anime you can find in the ecchi genre. But I think I feel comfortable putting it at a B for now. Ooh, okay. So up next is Clanad, and that's going straight in the S tier. It is one of the. I know some people don't like the art style for it, and it definitely shows its age, but it is one of the all-time best romance stories in anime that I have seen, and I will grandstand on that every single day of the week. Clanad is a beautiful story. Clanad After Story is almost as good, and you really can't get better than that very often. So I feel comfortable putting that in S for now, and I might end up dropping it down to an A. I'm not 100% sure. There's a couple of series that might be able to knock it out, because I think I'm only going to do a max of 5 S's, so we'll see how that lines up. Up next is My Dress Up Darling, and it's I'll put it in want to watch for now. I've read the manga, and I know the manga's really good. So I have high hopes for the anime. I just haven't been able to start it yet. Heck, that might even turn into one of the reaction series I do on the channel. We'll have to see. Alright, so the next series that we have, I do not recognize, so that's going in the unknown series. Ooh, okay. Sword Art Online. So, if you had asked a 13-year-old me what the best anime of all time is, I might have actually said Sword Art Online. Either that or Naruto. And I am definitely ashamed to say that. Don't get me wrong. But there is some nostalgia there. And from the looks of it, they're doing like series as a whole for this. And if we're going based on that, then I probably have to put it in a C at the highest, just because I have major qualms with the Alpheim arc as well as the Mother's Rosario arc. I didn't like either. And I know that's a controversial take, but it was boring to me. Honestly, I'm going to move that down to a D, because it's good as a gateway anime, but it's not that great of a story. It's just plot armor left and right and superhero complex for Kirito. Pretty sure that this is the new Horimiya. I'm not 100% sure, but if it is on my list of things to watch. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I think this is Madoka Magica, if I remember right. It's another one that I haven't seen, but I hear it's really, really good. So I'm gonna just plop that right there. Pretty sure that this next one is Recovery of an MMO Junkie. And if that is what it is, it's probably one of the better, like, gaming anime I've seen. And it's a really good romance story. It's a solid A. It's got a pretty solid storyline, doesn't really step on anyone's toes, and depicts, like, gaming addiction pretty accurately. So it's definitely a great story. 9 out of 10. Is this Cells at Work? It might be. So if this is Cells at Work, I actually did drop this. I watched a few episodes of Cells at Work, and it was okay, but not the style of show that I'm interested in watching, to be honest with you. Alright, so next we have The Disastrous Life of Psyche K. And this one I think I can safely put in an A. It's pretty random comedy style, but in terms of recent shows that have come out that are pure comedy like that, the punches just don't miss. It's a really good show to introduce someone to anime with, I think. So this is another one that I have no idea what it is, but it looks interesting. Up next is Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, which I have not watched, but everyone says it's great. So I'm thinking that's another one of the series I'm gonna end up reacting to on the channel. So look forward to that for sure. Not sure what this next one is, but it's another one that I just saw the art for earlier. So this next one's actually one of my favorite anime of all time. Love Chunibyo and Other Delusions. And one reason that I really like, when I was a teenager, I kind of had a Chunibyo complex, and I would pretend that I could do magic, like magic as in like Lord of the Rings magic type stuff all the time, and it's so fucking embarrassing. It really is. But the way that the anime handles it, because I really love what I really love about Chunibyo, Love Chunibyo and Other Delusions, is in the scenes where the Chunibyo characters are role playing, basically. It has these dichotomies where it shows what they're imagining, and it's these massive attacks, and then it'll have cut, and all of a sudden you just see Rika spinning a ladle. And it is just so funny, and it's so self-aware, and it's one of the best anime, I think, to introduce someone who likes comedy style shows. So it's definitely an S for me. Up next is Mushoku Tensei. And from what I've seen, I'm like halfway through season 1, if I remember right. From what I've seen, it's a great show. Definitely a material. But I haven't seen it all, so I wouldn't be able to put it in an S. And also, the main character is kind of a prick. Let's be real here. Not sure what this is either. It looks like it might be Kokoro Connect, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And I think it's just because of that. I think it is. So I'm going under the assumption that this is Kokoro Connect. The small photos really doesn't help me here. Bad eyesight problems, am I right? But Kokoro Connect is actually one of my favorites as well. So for anyone that hasn't seen Kokoro Connect, it is a slice of life, psychological, supernatural drama type show that, and it's romance as well, and that's one of the quickest ways to my heart is romance. But it's probably one of the most well put together pieces. The ending did fall a little flat compared to the rest of the series, the Kokoro Connect Michi, the 4-episode special. But even that, I think, is a 9 out of 10, so I think it's safe to put Kokoro Connect in S tier for me. This next one is Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, which I might get some hate for this, but I actually dropped it. I just felt weird because when I tried to watch it, I was over 18, and so seeing Yoko and the rest of the girls in such revealing positions, it just didn't sit right with me. So I dropped it. Don't know what to tell you other than that. Okay, so this next series is one that's near and dear to my heart. The Fate series. But I honestly would put the Fate series probably top of A. Well, specifically Fate Zero is what it's showing here. And the reason I say that, it's really slow start on Fate Zero in my opinion. but once it gets going, it doesn't stop, and that's what's awesome about it. And it handles the massive conflict in a very strong way. Up next, I am not sure at all what this is. Oh, it's One Punch. Okay. Well, okay. So, are we talking season 1 here? Or are we talking the collective? Because if we're talking the collective, it's probably an B tier. But if we're talking just season 1, I'd be comfortable putting it in A. Because season 1 handled everything great. Saitama was flawless as a character, let's be real here. Even King was fucking hilarious. But when we get down to season 2, the One Punch gimmick kind of started to just get a little boring after a while. I don't know what to tell you. So, I think I'll put it in B, honestly. Alright, I think this next series is Railgun. I'm not 100% sure. And if so, I dropped that series. Alright. This might be the one that gets me, like, legit heat. This one and maybe one other that'll come later. But I am not into Soul Eater, like, whatsoever. I can acknowledge the impact it's had, but it definitely shows its age, and the comedy just doesn't hit for me. I didn't find it funny, and it looks bad in my opinion. It's a solid D tier for me. Sorry, not sorry. Alright. And now we go from a very meh tier anime to probably one of the best isekai anime of all time, in my opinion. So, Overlord, while yes, it can be a little raunchy with its comedy, it's definitely a bit ecchi. But Momonga slash Ainz, the main character, is one of the first times I've ever seen in any medium where I have truly enjoyed a bad person as a character. Because let's be real here, Ainzulgon, Momonga, he is not a hero. He is a villain through and through. And it's amazing to see a story actually allow that to happen, instead of forcing a undead elder lich to be a good person, which wouldn't be very realistic. So it's very refreshing. Honestly, I actually have to drop it down to A, because the only criticism I really have for Overlord is they didn't include all of the material when making the anime. In between season 3 and 4, there is a major jump in time of content that was actually covered in the manga, but that we don't get in the anime at all. So you actually have to go and read the manga in order to understand everything that's happening in season 4. So that's the only major criticism I have for Overlord. Other than that, top tier show. Alright. Fairy Tail, otherwise known as Plot Armor the Anime. It's an alright shonen. Probably put it right there on par with One Punch Man. It's had massive impact on the anime industry, so it definitely has to be up there, but I don't know. It's just boring. It's just really boring. Don't know what to tell you. Ooh, okay. So this is another psychological series. This is Classroom of the Elite. I have not seen season 2 yet. I'm wanting to react to that on the channel. But if I remember right, on my my anime list, I have it rated as a 9. And the main reason for that is it really kind of falls flat in a couple of parts, animation wise especially, but also because I wasn't really prepared for I have some mental issues being forthcoming there, and there's some pretty heavy topics that are covered in Classroom of the Elite, and without warning, I was exposed to those topics, and there's nothing wrong with people including stuff like that, but I just wish when stuff like that happens in media, people would put some type of warning. But in the end, it was alright, and I still love the show. Can't wait to watch season 2. Alright, what is this? I think this might be Eden of the East, and I haven't seen it yet, but I hear it's really good. I'll probably check it out at some point. Up next is Don Machi. Now, Don Machi is probably one of the better isekai, it's not even an isekai, it's just like a fantasy shonen ecchi show. And I don't know, it's alright. I haven't watched really since the middle of season 2, but it's pretty good. I wouldn't put it on the same level as something like Fairy Tail, so I'm probably going to put it in C. But it's still not a bad anime by any means. Alright, so this is the first anime that I have dropped for other reasons than it being boring, and I will never pick up this anime again. I am not a person that can handle gore, like, whatsoever. I mean, I can handle a little bit, but not to the level that another goes to. And in terms of a horror show, it is top notch. I just can't do it personally, so I dropped it, and I will never pick it back up again. So, the next show that we have is Shitai Tinshura Slime Dataken. Excuse me. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. And for me, this is probably the best isekai anime I've seen. And that's just because I really enjoy the aspect of it that is creating the world as well as like building up the nation of Jura, the Jura Tempest Federation, and the war massive scale stuff that it goes into. It's really enjoyable for me, so solid S tier material. Up next we have another show that I dropped, and for me, Code Geass was it's a good show. It's just so boring. I'd rather spend my time on other series, just being fully honest. Hunter x Hunter, solid A tier show. Enough said right there. I'm not sure what this next one is. Unknown series. Okay. Up next is Devil is a Part-Timer. This is another series that I have not seen the second season to yet. It is on my to watch list. But the first season, for it being a ecchi show and very much a battle shonen / slice of life comedy somehow, they kind of mixed that together. I'm not normally someone who enjoys shonens, but I fell in love with Mao as a character. He is so fun. So I feel like Devil is a Part-Timer, solid A tier pick. The next series that we have is Charlotte. And it's another A tier pick for me. Great love story, great romance drama. If you want something to bawl your eyes out to, Charlotte is right up your alley. Food Wars. So, absolutely loved the first 3 seasons. I can say that with a straight face. After that, it lost touch with what it needed to be. They honestly should have ended after the train arc, in my opinion. But that's neither here nor there. What we do have is the fact that I ended up dropping it. Probably won't pick it back up. Enjoyed what I did watch for the most part, but moved on from it. Okay, so the next one is Chainsaw Man. And I've heard a lot of great stuff about it, but I just haven't gotten around to watching it. So, it goes in the want to watch category for now. Kill la Kill. So, I have watched Kill la Kill all the way through. And I think I've got to put it in B. Again, it's one of those shows that I wasn't the hugest fan of. It's a good show, but it had massive impact on the anime community, specifically because Studio Trigger became a household name because of Kill la Kill. And if you want a good battle sign-in, can't go wrong with it. So Kill la Kill, I feel like, is solid B material. Maybe A if you're super into it. This next one, this next one is Anohana. And it's one of those series, if you want to bawl your eyes out, watch it. It is a really good, really fucking sad story. But yeah, I mean, I'll admit, I cried. I cried at the end. But definitely can't go wrong with it. Solid A. Up next is Rising of the Shield Hero. It's another series that has made a huge impact, and it is on my list to watch, but it just like Classroom of the Elite, I know that there's some of that type of stuff covered, and so I want to have someone there with me to watch it, so I'm probably going to have that as one of the podcast episodes where I'm watching it with my older brother. But so that's something that we can look forward to on the channel when we get to that point. But for the time being, it's probably going to stay on my want to watch for now. Ooh, okay. So I dropped Bleach. And I know that's blasphemous for anyone saying that they're an anime fan, but hear me out. Bleach has a really slow start. I mean, it comes in punching with a 1-2 at the beginning, but after that, you're sitting around waiting for stuff to happen for 3 or 4 episodes in between anything good. At least for the first 15 episodes or so. And as much as my brother hounded me for years to watch it, I'm not going to sit there and spend half a day watching a show if it's not entertaining. I'm sorry. Hate me if you want, but Bleach, it might be something I pick back up. It has some cool fight scenes, that's for sure. I have no idea what this next one is. Jujutsu Kaisen, definitely in the want to watch list. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Okay, so my teen romantic comedy Snafu. So I really love the story. Main character's a bit of a prick. And I haven't seen the final season yet. So I'm going to reserve judgment of it for S material until I watch that. But it's definitely one of my favorite romantic comedy anime. I'd probably rate it 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, somewhere in there. Ooh, it's getting a little warm in here, guys. Have the AC off so that so that it isn't picked up on the mic. I am not sure what this one is. I cannot tell, so it goes in the unknown. Okay, this one's Spy X Family. It is on my to watch list and will be one of the first series I react to on the channel. So look forward to that in the very near future. Is this Vinland Saga? I think it is. I have not watched Vinland Saga, but I heard amazing things about it. Solid want to watch for now. Alright. This is Mirai Nikki, or Future Diaries. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I hated it. I watched all of it. And Yuno's unlikable. Yuki's unlikable. It was just a slog all the way through, and the way that they handled time travel through the phone, it was very contrived. It's not my cup of tea. It deserves an F in my opinion. It's just not that great of a show. And nowadays, if you try to go back and watch it, it feels very samey. Because while at the time it was very... What's the word I'm looking for? It was very innovative and new. Over time, so many people copied it that it kind of just washes out even the original. So that's unfortunate, but kind of how I view it. Up next, we have Spirited Away, I believe that is. And that is straight up S. One of the best anime movies of all time. No cap. I have never watched Evangelion. I'm gonna be honest with you. Straight up want to watch. This... So I feel like is this Love Hina? I think it is, and if so, I've played the game, like the dating sim when I was younger. I don't think I've ever watched it, but I'd be willing to check it out. I hear it's good. I have no idea what this is. This is JoJo's. So I've watched a little bit of JoJo's. I will definitely be going back to watch more of it. I think I got like halfway through season 1 before I put it on hiatus for a while. Okay, My Hero Academia. I know a lot of my content on the channel focuses around it, but that's mainly because I really like the first 4 seasons. In my opinion, after that, and especially in season 6, I mean, season 5 was still pretty good, but season 6 is where I feel they really fell off, in my opinion. I preferred it when it was the collective 1A growing together and not just a single main character like they're doing with Dark Deku. So if it had just... even up through season 5, I feel like I could have given it a, but I feel I'm gonna have to put it in B right there alongside shows like One Punch Man and Fairy Tail for me. Still a good show, just not best of the best in my opinion. Okay, this next one is Kakegurui. And in terms of a gambling anime, it was pretty good. I, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of gambling anime, to be honest with you. I watched Akira, and in my opinion, it's a better gambling anime. But in terms of a Netflix original show, it was probably one of the best ones that they came up with. And it was an enjoyable watch, especially season 1. Season 2 was kind of meh, but season 1 was great. Angel Beats. Maida June, one of their best works, and will make you cry. Gonna go ahead and drop Spirited Away down into the high A tier because we have that 5 show limit. I'm not sure what this one is. I feel like I've seen it, but I'm not 100% sure, so it's going in the unknown series for now. Ao no Exorcist. My brother forced me to watch this when I was younger, and I did not like it. Found it very boring. The music was cool, though, so D. I honestly find it pretty similar to Sword Art Online and Soul Eater. Shows that teenagers are probably be into, but as you get older, it just doesn't hold up. Parasite the Maxim was probably the first seinen I can remember actually watching, and it was very contrived. Honestly, it's an F in my opinion. It's not that great of a story. Darling in the Franxx. I have not watched yet, but it is on my to-watch list. I've heard it's really good. Ooh, Konosuba. So I'm not 100% caught up on everything with Konosuba. I've only watched season 1 actually, but what I have seen, I really, really enjoyed. It is so funny. It's one of the better isekai anime out there. And honestly, I'm gonna put it right up there next to like Anohana and Classroom of the Elite. Top tier anime, 9 out of 10. Can't go wrong with it. Just don't watch it with your family in the room. Dr. Stone is another series that we're actually going to be doing on the podcast in one of the first episodes. My older brother is really, really into it. I just haven't given it a chance really yet. I have no idea what this next one is, being honest with you. See, the problem with this is some of these are like so small I can barely see them. I mean, they're all the same size, but some of them you can tell what they are at least. The next one is Death Note, and I definitely think it deserves to be... It's one of the best psychological shows out there, in my opinion. Not the best. There are definitely parts of it that didn't age as well, but altogether a great show. Oh, Space Dandy. I don't think I've ever watched it, and it didn't really appeal to me. Kaguya-sama Love is War. This show is on my list of shows to react to, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. To be honest, at first I was just waiting for the dub to come out, and when the dub came out, I was just too busy, so I never really got around to it, but it's in the near future on the channel. It should be coming out. 7 Deadly Sins. So, I don't know, I thought the first season was probably B or A tier. It was pretty good, but I didn't really like it. After that, I ended up dropping it like a little bit into season 2. And that's about all I can say about that. It's a really good show if you like the pervert comedy style, but otherwise, you're probably just going to spend most of your time kind of frustrated. Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. I have not seen yet, but a lot of people recommend it, and I probably will check it out at some point. Up next is Toradora. So, interestingly enough, when I was a young teen, Toradora was one of my favorite shows, and even to this day is still one of the best romance anime in my opinion. But it's kind of dropped down my list a little bit just because the ending kind of fell flat in my opinion. I mean, it was really cute, but also made me sad. And I wanted them to like actually get together instead of the moving away heartbreak thing that they did. Even though it was really beautiful, especially when she shows back up. Oh, spoilers. But I don't know. It was a good game, good show altogether, though. Up next is No Game No Life. Now, if you want a good, like, trashy, ecchi isekai show, No Game No Life is pretty good. Granted, them looting Shiro, the little girl, little sus. Little sus. But, outside of that, it's got a really cool premise. Wish they would make a season 2, but don't think that's ever going to happen, unfortunately. But, solid B tier show, in my opinion. So, Noragami. When I was young, I liked it, but it's not aged well at all. It's a D tier anime, in my opinion. I'm probably gonna get a little bit of hate from that, but oh well. ReZero, I've watched the first season of, really liked it. Probably put it right around the same level as Devil is a Part-Timer. Honestly, I need to get around to watching the most recent seasons. So I think this is Snow White with the red hair, but I'm not 100% sure. No, I don't think it is, because I don't remember her wearing armor. So that's going in the unknown for now. Haikyuu. Have never watched it. I'd be willing to check it out, but I'm not super interested in it. I never have been, so we'll see how that goes. Demon Slayer. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but I will have to check it out at some point. The fights look cool. Ooh, Mob Psycho 100. The better of his works. I'd say it's solid A material. It's better than Psyche K, right around the same level as like Spirited Away in my opinion. Probably 8.5, 9 out of 10, somewhere in there. Is this erased? I'm honestly not sure. I feel like I know I've seen that art before, but I'm not sure what it is. Your Lie in April? Solid anime. A tier. I didn't like the ending as much, but overall, though a bit of a slow burn, Your Lie in April is a beautiful love story and can't really go wrong with it if you want a sappy love story. Assassination Classroom, another A tier anime in my opinion. Actually, I need to change my list, because I would put Assassination Classroom over Slime Ken. Assassination Classroom is probably one of the first anime I ever watched that I truly believed was a perfect story. They wrapped it up so well, and none of the story beats felt boring or forced. Everything had its purpose and served its purpose well, in my opinion. So, solid S tier anime, in my opinion. Okay, One Piece. Episode 1 of the podcast, by the way. That will be coming out not this coming Monday, but the week after. And that will be, we'll be looking at the first 4 episodes of One Piece, because I started One Piece a couple of times. I don't like the art style of early One Piece at all, and it's very, very boring to me. but maybe I'll end up liking it. So I'm gonna put it in want to watch for now, but from my past experience so far, I haven't really cared for it. Okay, this is a silent voice, if I remember right. And I haven't watched it, but it's on my list of things to watch. Wait, I think this might be a silent voice. I'll be honest, I'm not a anime expert, but this list is coming together quite nicely. Have a little bit in each category. Promised Neverland, I haven't watched, and honestly, it's honestly the only other series that'll end up going in the don't care to watch, because from what I heard, first season they killed it, but the second season, I heard the ending is utter dog shit. And for me, the ending is one of the most important parts of the story. If you can't tie everything together, then your story's going to end up falling flat for people. And I'd rather not waste that much time on a series that, in my opinion, was failed by the animators and directors, because the manga is amazing. I've read the manga. This one, again, looks familiar, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. Naruto. So, the anime... Oh, the heck? The anime is probably A tier. Low A tier, in my opinion. But the manga is S tier. Straight up. The Naruto manga was actually the first manga I ever read all the way through. So. Gintama. Another show that I've heard a lot of great things about, and it has had a massive impact on the anime industry. Just haven't watched it yet. And honestly, I might do that sometime fairly soon, but we'll have to see. Ooh. This one's hard. Okay. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. You know what? I'll switch its place with Chunibyo, because... yeah, FMAB is just a perfect story. There's no holes in it, in my opinion. So... can't go wrong with that if you're wanting a shonen. And then, the reason I did this list backwards. So, everybody and their mother seems to love Attack on Titan. And I know the hate is going to flow in for this one. But, Eren is a little bitch. And it is a very boring start. I mean, sure, they kick things off with the Titan in the first episode, but if you're trying to get someone hooked into a series, make people connect with your character from the beginning, and you can't go wrong. But I just couldn't connect to any of the characters on a deep enough level, and so I ended up dropping it. I think like 3 or 4 episodes in. But yeah, so dropped it. Don't care to pick it back up. But yeah, so that is my list. For the most part, the anime in the list seem to be fairly good. Don't have a lot of low-ranking anime in here, and even some of the ones I do, I can at least acknowledge the impact they had on the industry for a while. A lot of the ones that I ranked low didn't really have much staying power, though. But thank you guys for joining and listening to me roast anime tastes of the hive mind. But if you disagree or agree or have any thoughts and on any of my takes, feel free to drop them down in the comments section below. I'd be happy to discuss. Also, here soon I will be releasing the link to join the community Discord for the channel that will be opening up soon. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao for now, lovelies.